Who is ready for some action-packed world building? I know I have been since the trailer dropped for Fallout. My name is Valero, and this is FandomWire Reviews. Today, I will be reviewing the highly anticipated series set to drop on Prime Video, Fallout. The video game world has seen some great adaptations more recently with The Last of Us, Uncharted, yes I liked it, and Sonic the Hedgehog. Can Fallout fall in line with those series, or will it fall short like Doom or Need for Speed? Let's dive in. What's Fallout about? Based on the video game series, the Fallout is a story of the haves and have-nots in a world in which there's almost nothing left to have. 200 years after the apocalypse, the gentle denizens of the luxury Fallout shelters are forced to return to the irradiated hellscape their ancestors left behind, and are shocked to discover an incredibly complex, gleefully weird, and highly violent universe waiting for them. This series is 8 episodes long and stars Ella Purnell, Aaron Moten, and Walter Goggins. Let's talk about the good in Fallout. Executive producer Jonathan Nolan had the tall task of adapting the wildly popular video game series with these larger-than-life set pieces and out-of-the-world characters. This series finds some incredible balance within each layer of this storytelling. Many moves being dramatic, dark, satire, and of course some humor. Now let's talk about the epic scale this series hits on many of the beloved things in the video game. When you are watching this series, you cannot believe this larger-than-life series because Fallout is crazy, wild. We're set in this weird apocalyptic times where we've seen many times. However, the set pieces and the colors, the costumes, the cinematography all land in similar fashion that they do in the video game. We've seen cinematic types of TV shows over the years, but very few deliver that outlandish set pieces from the games. It's nothing short of miraculous watching this series over and over again. I could not get enough of just being fully immersed. I tell you what, when I was getting ready to review the series, I had to rewind a few times just being in awe of what I was watching. The action is wild. I ate up much of the action in ways I wasn't sure that this series would be able to deliver. That said, Ella Purnell was made to play the role of Lucy McLean. Look, she's the heart, the soul, and just the way she delivers in that action, just everything she brought to the table to the character was everything I hoped she would. Purnell is something, she is very well adept in this world, playing in many different series. But I know this is cliche to say whenever you watch something, but Marvel would be insane not to figure out a way to put Purnell into one of their future roles. Aaron Moten is a bright addition to the series, along with Walter Goggins, who time and time again proves that any time that he's in a TV show, he is going to make his presence known. His version of the goal will make video game fans very happy. Plus, I'm going to talk about there's other layers of this that I really love. The color palette. If you watch Fallout, if you see the Fallout trailer, if you've never even played the game before, the colors pop. And that's exactly what the series did. It's very important to capture the little things that the video games did to really bring this to fruition for those fans. Now, let's talk about the not so good. Let me prefix by saying this isn't quote-unquote a bad thing. But in recent time, we've continued to see series kind of overstay their welcome. Maybe be 10 episodes when it could have been 8. Maybe be 8 episodes instead of 6. My problem here is this. No, this should not have been a movie because this allowed the series to really develop characters, develop a story in hopes of possibly future Fallout seasons. That said, this thing could have been finer tuned. The script is good, but not great. Upon watching, there are several episodes and several storylines that felt like it could have been cut down. You're talking about 8 episode series here. Each episode is right around an hour. This easily could have been a tighter 6 episode series that would have landed even better than it did. Due to just those small issues with the length, I feel like within the script we meander around a little bit and there's too much leading to unneeded plot points to fill time. That's my biggest bone to pick with the series. Outside of that, I really felt like it captures everything I could have ever wanted. Speaking of capturing everything I could have ever wanted, is it a good video game adaptation? It's important to remember that this is not an adaptation for a specific Fallout game. Rather, a new story is set in the same world, this time Los Angeles, but it was developed very closely with the game creators. I also want to point out this is a very important part of this world, and it's something I really love that the Jonathan Nolan and the creators and the writers of this series really grasped on. There's going to be people that want to watch this series that have never played the game. Oftentimes that when you see adaptations of games, adaptations of books, they forget that there's a pivotal point of an audience that will never have read it or never have played it. This was done perfect. I want to say that if you've never played the Fallout game in your entire existence, it's okay. Now, there's going to be parts where you might be slightly confused, and that's fine as well. But I do think they did a great job of allowing all audiences to want to check this out. While it does benefit to have played the game, I did think they did a great job of allowing all audiences to want to check this out. That said, as a fan of the game, I do believe this falls in line with some of the better video game adaptations we've seen in recent memory. It will make fans of the games fully engulfed into the Fallout world. I'm telling you, if I could say anything about this series, I felt like I was immersed into the Fallout world. It was beautiful. It was awesome. It was epic, which made me very happy as a player of the game. Another cool aspect that I'm sure some people were worried about was, much like the video game, the soundtrack does not disappoint. I'm telling you what, there was a few times, this is just out crazy. The world building, the similarities with some of the characters, the mannerisms, they do intertwine while also developing the characters for themselves. Now, the biggest question of them all, is it worth checking out? Absolutely.